Now, in closing, according to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 37, and Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1, and chapter 12, verse 32, we are supposed to keep every single one of Yahweh's laws. And let me go ahead and go there and read that. Leviticus chapter 19. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 37, it reads, Therefore shall ye observe all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them. I am Yahweh. And then Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1, it reads, All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply, and go and possess the land which Yahweh swore unto your fathers. And then read Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 32. It reads, What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. Now, like I said, according to Leviticus 19:37, Deuteronomy 8 and 1, and Deuteronomy 12 and 32, we are supposed to keep every single one of Yahweh's laws, even laws such as the Passover, which we cannot keep here in America. We are still obeying that particular law by not keeping it over here in America, because part of the requirement to do this law is that it has to be done in the land of Israel, more specifically Jerusalem. So when it comes to laws regarding tithes, even though we can't keep two particular types of tithes, those are the year-to-year tithes and 3-year tithes, because with these tithes it says that they have to be done in the place where Yahweh placed his name at. However, when it comes to the Levitical tithes, Yahweh did not put any stipulations or restrictions on this one, on where it should be done at. Also, Yahweh said that we are never to forsake the Levite. So in order to keep the law of not forsaking the Levite, your best bet would be to pay tithes in the form of money, and have 10% of whatever money you earn go towards helping your fellow Hebrew brother and sister, just in case they might happen to be a Levite. That way, when Judgment Day comes and you're standing in front of Yahweh, and Yahweh asks you, what did you do to keep my law when I said, do not forsake the Levites? You can say to Yahweh, the way I kept that particular law was that every time I earned a paycheck, I took 10% out of my check and I used it to help my people, for whoever may have been a Levite. I used that money to help buy them food, clothing, and even give them shelter if they needed it. What you do not want to say to Yahweh on Judgment Day is, not only did I not use 10% of my money to help my fellow Hebrew brothers and sisters, I didn't even use 1% of my earnings. I instead kept all of my money for myself, because I only care about me, and only because, let me say that again. I instead kept all of my money for myself, because I only care about me and me only, and it's every man for himself. Besides, I don't know who is or who isn't a Levite. How is I supposed to keep this law anyway? That's not what you want to say in front of Yahweh. You don't want to say, Yahweh, I have no idea who a Levite was or who wasn't, so I just pretty much just kept my money for myself and said, the heck with everybody else. That's not what you want to say to Yahweh on Judgment Day. Even though Proverbs chapter 21, verse 26 says, the righteous giveth and spareth not. In Proverbs chapter 20, verse 27, it says, that he that giveth unto the poor shall not lack. Since I was poor, I should not have given any money to anybody. If anything, people should have been giving their money to me. Now, you can try using this type of excuse on Judgment Day in front of Yahweh if you want to, and maybe it will work. But I think deep down inside we all know that there's always someone out there that is more poor than us, and that we should give what we have to our fellow Hebrew brothers and sisters, preferably 10%, and not make excuses as to why we did not keep the law where it says, do not forsake the Levites. That would be your best option to take. So your best bet, again, is to pay tithes and use that money to help your fellow Hebrew brothers and sisters, because there's a chance they may be a Levite. You know, we don't know for 100% certainty if we're from the tribe of Reuben or the tribe of Issachar or the tribe of Judah or Dan or Levi, but we do know that we are at least from one of those tribes, because we are all Hebrew Israelites. We all come from the tribe. We all come from the nation of Israel. So there's a chance one of us may be from the tribe of Levi, and if we are, your best bet will be to help your brothers and sisters, give them money if they're in need of it. So that way, if you do end up helping your brother, help feeding them, help giving them clothes, doing that type of stuff, then you're making sure that you're not forsaking the Levite, because in scriptures it does say, thou shalt not forsake the Levite. And as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and go to that real quick. Let me find that. I think that's in Leviticus. Okay, that's in Deuteronomy chapter 14. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 27. Oh, there it is. Yes, Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 27, it reads, and the Levite that's within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. So we are not to forsake the Levites at all. That is a commandment from Yahweh. And again, the way you make sure that you do not forsake the Levite is by paying tithes, more specifically giving a tenth of whatever you make to help your fellow Hebrew brother and sister who may or may not be Levites. Again, you don't know if they're a Levite, but your best bet will be to help them anyway and give them money if they are in need of it, or use that money to help buy them food, or to help buy them clothing, or to help put a roof over their house. That'll be your best bet. So that way, when Judgment Day comes, you'll have a very good excuse for when Yahweh asks you, okay, what did you do to keep my commandment in regards to not forsaking the Levites? You can say, Yahweh, every time I made $100, I took $10 of that, and I went out and bought, some bread and some water and gave it to my Hebrew brother and sister who was all out, living out in the tent underneath the highway, underneath the bridge. I used that money to help buy them food. That's what you want to say on Judgment Day in front of Yahweh. What you don't want to say is, you know what, I didn't do anything to help my fellow Hebrew brothers and sisters. I had no clue who a Levite was, so I just pretty much kept my money to myself. And I said, hey, it's every man for himself. I don't care about, my brothers and sisters. They can get their own jobs. Let them help themselves. That's not what you want to say to Yahweh. That excuse, I don't think it's going to fly. But you can try it if you want to, But I think we all know that we're supposed to help our fellow Hebrew brothers and sisters. And one of the best ways to help them is by setting 10% of whatever we make aside and using that 10% to help our fellow Hebrew brothers and sisters. Alright, well that concludes my teaching on tithes. And so now I'm going to end it right here. I just want to once again give all thanks and honor to Yahweh by saying hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Shalom.